Hello and welcome to Health with Priskilla. On today's video, I'll be talking about hepatitis E. Now, I know that you are most likely tired of hearing about hepatitis E since the outbreak. However, it is important that we kick this outbreak to the curb by making sure that we know everything there is to know about it and making sure that we do not have any other outbreaks of this sort. So therefore, hepatitis E has to be addressed. Now, looking into it, I think this video should even be titled Hepatitis E Final Chapter. So first and foremost, what is hepatitis? Hepatitis is an infection which is caused by the hepatitis virus. Now, the hepatitis virus causes an infection on your liver. In other words, it damages your liver. There are 5 types of hepatitis viruses. There's hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, hepatitis D, and hepatitis E. So I will discuss hepatitis B in a separate video because there is also quite a prevalence of hepatitis B in Namibia. However, on today's show, we will specifically focus only on hepatitis E. So hepatitis E was first reported in one of the informal settlements in Windhoek, Namibia. Thereafter, it spread to some of the other regions in Namibia. Hepatitis E affects pregnant women, it affects the elderly, it affects children, it affects people who have a low or compromised immune system, as well as those who are ill. But that doesn't mean that it cannot affect other people. So exactly how is this virus transmitted? This virus is transmitted once you come into contact with fecal material. In other words, feces which has contaminated your food, your drinking water, which has contaminated your hands, or any other object or anything else that you basically eat or which you basically ingest. Now, the signs and symptoms of hepatitis E are as follow. You can get fever, fatigue, headache, dizziness, vomiting, nausea, yellow eyes, jaundice, as well as joint pain. The signs are not limited to those. There are other signs, but those are some of the common signs of hepatitis E. Now that we know what hepatitis E is, let's talk a little bit about what it is that you can do to prevent yourself and your community from being affected from this outbreak. Number 1, first and foremost, make sure that your surrounding or your environment is clean at all times. Do not litter, do not keep a dirty environment because this attracts bacteria and it attracts viruses as well. Number 2, personal hygiene. Make sure that you wash your hands every time after using the toilet or after using the bathroom. And not only that, but sanitation, proper sanitation is also very important. That means that clean the toilet after using it. In that way, you protect the next person. And once the next person uses the toilet and cleans it as well, the cycle continues, and in that way, we make sure that we do not spread any hepatitis E virus or any other infections or bacteria. Thirdly, make sure that you do not practice open defecation. Make sure that open defecation is not practiced at all. In other words, you do not defecate at open areas or at open water sources that people make use of. And last but not least, boil your drinking water. So before you even think of drinking water that you have collected from open sources, make sure that you boil it, let it cool, let it get to the room temperature, and then you can drink the water. Now, if you notice that you have any signs of or symptoms of hepatitis E, you can visit any hospital, clinic, primary health care, or you can talk to a health extension worker. If you don't have any of those people in your community, you can also talk to someone who you know has a health background, and they can advise you on the way forward so that you can get timely medical attention in the event that you have indeed contracted the hepatitis E virus. Other than that, work together as a community. It is so important that you come together and share ideas on how to improve sanitation in your community. And you can take this up with your community leaders, or you can also approach the city of Windhoek. Do not wait for the government to do everything for you, because I believe that we are the government. Those of you who have access to sanitizers, please sanitize, sanitize, sanitize. Make sure that you make use of your sanitizers, but that does not replace soap and water. Sanitizer is just the first line response. You can then make sure that you wash your hands before eating, after you have sanitized them, of course. So you sanitize, wash your hands with soap and water, and then you can go ahead and eat. Also, do not shake hands with a lot of people, especially at public gatherings. But if you find yourself in a situation where you have to shake hands, because we know that it is in some cultures that you have to shake hands, especially with the elderly, don't eat food until you make sure that your hands are thoroughly washed. So that's it on hepatitis E, as easy as that. We have now closed the chapter on hepatitis E. Let's make sure that we kick this outbreak out of our country and make sure that we have a healthy society at the end of the day. Please do share this video with your friends and family. And if you have any questions, please do also feel free to contact me. So until the next video, or until the next episode, from me, Priskilla, it's goodbye for now.